Hello everyone, Helen here. Thanks for coming to join me, and I do hope you're doing okay. If you haven't met me before, I live near Durham in the northeast of England, and I spend part of my time being a piano teacher, working from home, and pretty much the rest of my time I spend making things, all sorts of things, and going out for walks and just enjoying being outside. And so today I've got some projects to talk about, so knitting, crochet, and even a little bit of sewing to chat about. And I'm going to show you a few more leaves, almost the last few leaves of my 100-day project. So more about that in a bit, and we'll also go out for a little bit of a walk at the end with a bit of nice gentle piano. Right then, so projects. Well, I've got one finished project for you, and I think the last time that I chatted to you, last week, I didn't even know I was going to make it, so it wasn't even in the plans, because I go to WI, which, just in case you don't know what that is, WI stands for Women's Institute. It's an organisation that's been on the go for over 100 years now. Which is all about women supporting each other, learning new things, and just having a little network of friendly people to chat to. And it's a monthly thing that I go to. But although I've only just been back to it in person, so we had lots and lots of Zoom WI meetings, but we're back to meeting up in real life now. And so they asked me when I was there if I would make a corgi, because there's going to be a little Jubilee fair happening, and for a bit of fundraising they wanted a corgi so that they could have what's the name of the corgi competition. And so they came and said to me, can you make a corgi? And after a bit of searching, I found one that I was happy to do. Actually, I was given a knitting pattern, which is okay. It's a free one from the Woman's Weekly, and that looks really good, but I decided I didn't want to do that. It was a little bit more complicated. I wanted something that would be quicker than that. So I did a bit more searching around, and I found a pattern for this corgi. See him? On Hobbycraft. So on the Hobbycraft website, this is just free pattern. It doesn't look as much like a corgi as the Woman's Weekly knitted one, I have to say, but I think we can tell that he's meant to be a corgi from the colours and the fact that he's got a crown on and a royal cloak here. And I am really, really pleased with him. He's got a lovely expression, and yeah, I think that's going to make a lovely prize for whoever wins the competition of Name the Corgi. So yeah, lovely little corgi. I knitted him in Stylecraft Special Chunky and used a 5mm hook. I don't know what the pattern said to use, but I wanted to make him a decent size, so that's why I did it in Chunky. And it's great. Yeah, it's worked out really nicely. So yeah, so that's the corgi, my one finished project. So what else have I got? I've made a start on my May Gnome in the Year of Gnomes knit along, and this time, well, inspired partly by using the Chunky for the corgi, but also partly by seeing on Instagram that Lucy Lookatland was selling kits for making a really large gnome. I thought, well, I have got some Chunky, so I don't need a kit. And so I'm making a larger gnome than usual. My usual favourite pattern by Sarah Shearer, Never Not Gnoming. The hat isn't finished yet. I think I've got about another six rounds to go on that. And it's going to be red, white and blue, like the one I saw on Lucy Locketland. And yeah, so hopefully next time I speak to you, he will be finished. But to show you the whole thing, I think I'm going to give him a red, white and blue stripy beard. That's what I've decided to do. After my last month's gnome, I gave a stripy beard, and I thought, yeah, I think this one's going to be a patriotic one, red, white and blue beard. Yeah, so that's that one. What else have we got? Yeah, and I've been making a bit of progress with my Queen Elizabeth II as well. She looks a bit funny there because the hair is just like a crocheted hat, really. But she's rather lovely. She needs arms, and she'll look a lot more like the Queen when she's got a hat and a handbag as well. So a little black handbag she has to go with this. And I'm using Scapier's Stone Washed instead of the 100% cotton drops. What was it called? Drops Muscat that I was using before. This doesn't split really. It's really lovely. It gives a softer feel to the toy, but it's still quite a firm texture as crochet amigurumi are. And yeah, so there we go. And again, I think she'll be finished hopefully next time I speak to you. Then another project on the go, knitted one, is the jumper that I'm making, which I showed you the yarn for a week or so ago. And I have, done this much. So I'm knitting it on a circular, but it's not in the round. So this is the back. So I have done about, I think that's about 20 centimetres. So I've got to do 40 centimetres before I start the shaping for the sleeves. So I think that's looking really, really nice. I'm very, very pleased with that. I like the feel of it. I say I'm in no hurry really to get this finished. I think, I'm not likely to wear it very much until the weather starts to cool down again in the autumn. And but I've knitted my square just to check my gauge tension, and it was absolutely perfect. That is 10 centimetres square, which is what it said. So for the number of stitches and number of rows, so that was really good. So I'm feeling reasonably confident that it will be a good fit. And then I have got some socks on the go as well, but I haven't really touched them much recently. I haven't done much sock knitting. So I'm not going to show you them today. And then the other thing that I'm working on, final thing I'm going to show you today, is my mitered square blanket, which I did tell you a week or so ago was finished. And it was, the knitted part was finished. But I'm currently attaching the fleecy backing. So what I did was, when I got the size of the fleece right, I just whip stitched all around the edge, and then I bought some bias binding, some lovely floral bias binding, fairly narrow, and I'm just going to sew that by hand all the way around. I've done one edge so far. Finding these little clips, this is the first time I've used these little clips. My mum just gave me some recently, and they are absolutely perfect for the job. So I'm very pleased with that. That's going to be a really, really nice, cosy lap blanket. So I'm looking forward to that being properly finished off. So yeah, I think that's all of my sort of woolly projects. So I'm going to show you some more leaves now. So yeah, when you see this, when this goes out, should I say, the 100-day project will be at an end. It's not quite at an end for me because obviously I have to create my display of the leaves, and I think I've now got a good idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to share that with you another time, but I'm hoping it's going to work. Anyway, so I'm not saying anything yet in case it doesn't work out. But yeah, but thank you to everybody who's given me little nuggets of ideas. It might be that you've suggested something and I won't do it quite that way, but you've sort of sparked something in my mind, and that's one of the lovely things about having comments. And you might just say something that just gives me a little bit of an idea. So yeah, thank you to everyone, and thank you to everybody who's made comments and has just been so encouraging and telling me how much you've been enjoying seeing my leaves and all the other things that I share as well. So here we go. I'm going to show you I think 6 or 7 more leaves. So we got up to 90 last time, so I'm going to start 91 today, and go up to 97, I think. So let's have a look. So at day 91, this leaf was, well, I decided to do this on after the previous day when I'd made the origami leaf, and on the page in the origami book there was a little excerpt from a poem about autumn leaves by a lady called Elsie N. Brady. So I thought I would write the words on a leaf in autumn colours, because I haven't really actually had an autumn leaf so far. Day 92 is a crocheted holly leaf. Now I have tried, I don't know, 3 or 4 holly leaf patterns, knitted and crochet, and wasn't really all that happy with the outcome. But finally I was happy with this one, and it was from a book, 100 Flowers to Knit and Crochet, but it also has leaves in it. So I think that looks really nice. Reminds me of not only of Christmas time, but also just of cosy, warm winter nights. Day 93, well, this is part of the poem that I read you in last week's podcast that I've written, Every Leaf, and that's comparing the leaves in nature with the leaves that I've created. So I don't need to read that to you again now. But on this particular leaf, which I used my handmade paper for, the paper that I made out of toilet roll insides, I've just written one verse on one side about leaves in nature, and on the other side about the leaves that I've created. Yeah, so day 94's leaf is another little storybook. And on day 31 and day 50, my leaves were little leaf sprites made out of felt. And I knew that at some point they would have to have a little story. So one started to come into my head. So some of the leaves that I've made for the 100-day project have just happened in the morning. I've woken up, I've known what I'm going to do, and then I just get on with it. Other things like the little stories, obviously I work on over a few days, and this one did take a little while for me to be happy with it. But I read it. I started reading it to my husband, and he said, and I was saying, oh yeah, and it's all true. He said, I really did sit on a bench and look over to the tree, and I was sure that there was a little door with some leaf sprites living behind. So I was just humoured and patted on the head. And yeah, I think he thinks I'm slightly away with the fairies, maybe. Anyway, so in this little book I also did some little illustrations. So one of me sitting between my 2 favourite trees. So it's a lovely bench, and I've shown you it before, and I just love to go and sit there. It actually isn't a really peaceful spot as far as the sound goes, because over the other side of the trees there is a main road, not a really busy one, but it's a fair bit of traffic. But it feels like a really, really peaceful spot, and the bench is there, and on each side there's a big old oak tree, and I just love it there. And when you look out, all you can see are trees and grass and things, so it is a nice place to sit. And so the tree over on my right, when I'm sitting on the bench, is where I glanced over and saw a thing that looked like a little hole, like a little door in the side of the tree. And the only thing actually that isn't true in the start of the poem, obviously there are not really real leaf sprites, but but the only thing that's not true is that actually it wasn't way up high. So that's poetic license, because I needed the high to rhyme with another word. But because it's actually fairly down low, which is quite good, because it meant that I could take some photos of the leaf sprites in the little doorway. So I'm going to read the little story to you now. On Discovering Leaf Sprites by Helen Kettridge. I sat on the bench by my favourite trees, felt the warmth of the sun and the whispering breeze. A shadowy shape on the trunk caught my eye, so I turned and looked up at the place way up high, saw a small wooden door so sturdy and strong, heard the delicate hum of a faraway song. With the tiniest swish, something opened the door, and I gasped with surprise at the creature I saw. Not a squirrel or bird or a magical mouse, but a leafy-shaped sprite bounded out of that house, followed quite soon by another in green, and the two of them instantly knew they'd been seen, for they darted quite quickly, leapt down to the ground, slipped through the grasses with barely a sound. But wherever I searched, there was never a sign of those two little sprites, except for one time when a faraway song floated close to the trees, and I knew that those sprites were the lullaby leaves. Lullaby, hush-a-bye, lullaby leaves, a song through the chimneys, a hum through the eaves, lulling the children who make not a peep as the lullaby leaves gently sing them to sleep. So when I made the leaf sprites, I hadn't decided that they were going to be lullaby leaves, but it seemed to all make sense, and it also ties in with some of the other things I've done with the 100-Day Project, like my leafy lullaby. So let's just finish off the other leaves that I've got to show you today. Day 95, I used some metallic watercolour paints, which I really love. I actually bought them for making Christmas cards. But so to make this leaf anyway, I masked off using some washi tape a leaf shape, and then just painted lines across in different directions, different thicknesses, different colours, and then when it was dry I removed the tape and cut out the leaf. I was really pleased with that. Day 96. This leaf happened because we got a parcel. The first thing I thought when I saw the packing paper was, oh, that would make a nice leaf. So I immediately got to work and made a leaf. So it's very simple, but I just think it's got a lovely texture to it. And that'll be a nice reminder that I do like to use found objects sometimes to make things. And then finally for today, day 97 is a sketch that I did of a curled up fern leaf. I just love these. I'm sure you do as well when you look at them. If you're out for a walk and you see the leaf all curled up. It's one of those really beautiful things in nature that you see. So I had a lovely time trying to draw that little curled up fern leaf. Next time I talk about the 100-Day Project, it'll be looking at it as a whole. So you'll see those final 3 leaves. And I don't know what day 98 and 99 are going to be, but although if you follow me on Instagram at MousieMakesPod, you will, by the time this goes out, you will have seen those leaves. I know already what day 100 is going to be because it's something that I'd already had an idea for and thought that would be really nice for the last day of the project. So so there we go. Oh, nearly at the end of this project, but not quite, because obviously I've got the display thing to get sorted out. So I'm going to take you on a little walk now, just to finish off. And just out in my local area where most of my walks happen. A friend asked me a few months ago, did I not get bored of walking in the same places all the time? And actually, I don't. I never get bored. And I think it's because I have developed this mindset of just looking at all the little details, the little changes that there are. And no 2 days are the same. You'll know that as well. And same thing if you live by the sea and you look out to the sea each day. You know, the sea isn't the same. There's no 2 days the same. It's the same here. There was one morning last week, I was walking along by one of the fields and it was just a mass of white fluff because it was covered in dandelion clocks, you know, all the seed heads. And I thought, wow, that's beautiful. And I took some photos and just thought how gorgeous it was. And overnight, it was quite windy. And when I went back the next day, walked by the same field, no fluff, no dandelion fluff at all. They'd all been blown off by the wind and spread away to create the lovely yellow flowers some, further afield. So, so it's never the same. And the video that I'm going to show you of me going on a walk is over a couple of days, because we had a day that was rather rainy, and as you know, I'm not being put off by the rain now, so I went out in the rain and really enjoyed the vibrant green colours, because at this point in late spring, early summer, is it? I don't know if it's counted as summer yet here, but the leaves are just that gorgeous, intense green, aren't they? Really fresh. I don't know what shade of green you would call it. I would call it fresh green, especially the oak trees, and so the colour comes out even more when the leaves are wet. So that was really lovely. I was enjoying seeing the colours of green. And then the next day I went out, it was bright sunshine. Although it had rained overnight, so there was still some lovely drops of rain on some of the leaves, which I was enjoying because they were then glistening in the sunlight. And so I really enjoyed those couple of walks, and how different they were, and the different things that I noticed and enjoyed. So come on then, let's go out for a walk. So it's nearly time for me to go now, but I'm just going to actually finish with a quote that I really love. It is very appropriate for me and what I'm doing in my podcasting and what I'm doing, just sharing sharing all the things I do with you. And it was something that was read out by my yoga teacher at the end of yoga last week. And when we have the relaxation, she always finishes with a quote or a poem, or just some words that are very meaningful, maybe for that particular day, or to what's happening in the world or whatever. And I particularly loved these words that she read out, and they're actually from a book that I have read in part. I can't say I've read the whole thing, and it's a book by Clarissa Pinkola Estes called, I think, Women Who Run with Wolves. it's got an even longer title than that, can't remember the rest of it. It's a very, very thick book, and it's very, very interesting, although I found it quite hard to read and I didn't manage to finish it. But anyway, this quote from the book is absolutely perfect. It's perfect for how things are at the moment, and it's perfect for the way that I hope that I just touch a few lives and bring a little bit of joy into your day or your week when you spend a bit of time with me. So I'm going to read this quote out to you now. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor suffering world, will help immensely. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Aren't those lovely words? I hope you enjoy them as much as I did. So now I am going to say goodbye, and I will be back with you very soon. So until then, keep nice and busy, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.